Hi gang, and welcome to Note 11. This is one of the more fun assignments. It's the perspective grid, and it's really a powerful tool for making like architecture drawings, although it's not a full-blown architectural program. I took a drawing class and I utilized this to help me with my drawings, and it was just amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to just open up, a standard screen for us, and what I want to do is I'm going to click over here where it says perspective grid, and then this is what happens. I just can take it, I can move these handlebars, and this is obviously the left hand side, and I can resize it. I can come up here and make it taller or smaller, no matter how, depending on how I want the picture to come out. And since I'm going to be kind of playing with that size, I'll just go with that, and I can do the same thing here, drag that one, depending on how I want the layout to be. So there's a lot of flexibility. And also, by the way, I can go down to up, see from below. So there we go. Well, the first thing I want to point out is, I noticed here on this, it's saying that whatever I draw is going to go on this face, no matter where I try to draw it. Same way with that, same way with that. If I wanted to draw it up a little bit like that, you can see this is going to be that bottom layer. That's the left grid. That's the right grid. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And I am going to draw it right on this. And you notice that it's drawing it for that side because I left it there. So I'm going to do Control Z. I want it to be on this side. I'm going to draw a rectangle, only this time I'm going to have it a little bit more color in it. So I am going to, let's make it, well, we're into green buildings nowadays, so that's what I'm going to do there. And I am going to get my rectangle, and I'm just going to go like that. And if I want to give the illusion of a door, I can click about that high, drag it right there. And then obviously I'm going to want to select it to white. There we go. And I can do the same thing with windows up here if I want, but I don't want to take up that space because what I'm going to be doing in a bit is filling that out. So now I've got this perspective grid tool, but I want to switch to, and I'm going to click on the right hand side, perspective selection tool. Ooh. And what that allows me to do is come over to this side and click on that so I can select size it. And I'm going to do the same thing with that I did before. I'm going to drag it down here like that, and then I'm going to make it green. That's the wrong color, green. I could have done the eyedropper just to see it. And I'm going to have a white door right here, so I'm just going to, wrong, hit cancel, didn't I? Hit it exactly where I want. Notice I can go along here and just go, have like a main entrance there. White. And if I want to, I can come back to my tool and I can drag it down this way. So it does it, it resizes it for me based on the perception, because obviously something close is going to be bigger to us and something far away is going to be small. I like to call it the airplane effect. I love watching the landing, because you'll see all these little ants all of a sudden become cars that eventually become bigger cars, and then they become trucks as you're landing. So you see them getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They're not changing size, it's the perspective of that size. Now, I want to have some graphics on this building, so I'm going to come over here, click on this side, and I'm going to come over here to the symbol, and we're just going to drag that one right there. Now I've got to use my tool like, click on it, and then that's one of the things I don't like about the way this works is sometimes the icons are so small that it makes it really hard to grab it. So I'm just going to grab in the middle right there. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take a picture of Bart Simpson and I'm going to bring him in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Place. Nah, you know what? I'm going to be Mickey Mouse. I don't feel like Bart Simpson. I did it in practice, so I'm going to do Mickey Mouse now instead. And I'm just going to make a little Mickey. Everybody needs a little Mickey Mouse in their life. Now I'm going to come back over here to my selection tool. I'm going to embed. And then I'm going to trace that image, going to do high fidelity, even though it really isn't a very high fidelity. And then I have to expand it. I always forget to expand it, and then I have to come back and redo the image one last time, but it really doesn't matter. Now, if I want to use it over and over and over, I can make it a icon and call it mouse. Or I can actually take this image, and since I'm playing with that grid right there. Now, once you have an image selected and you start moving it, you can't go change it very easily. To be honest with you, I've only been lucky once to get it to move, and I still don't know how I did that. But there's a mouse. Now, if I would have been smart, what I would have done is I would have taken this into Photoshop and made it a PNG. Right now it's a JPEG, so it's got that ugly white border. Another thing I could have done is have like the palace, the mountain palace in Disneyland. That's always the major icon. That'd have been kind of cool too. And I'm going to drag it up there since we're dealing with animation. And now I'm going to do my other side, so we got to have Mickey on that side too. And I'm going to make it as big. There we go. Now I'm going to take this grid because what I want to do is I'm going to come down to Tiki. And I am got the wrong. Going to drag and drop that right there. And I'm going to come over to this side. And then I'm going to drag my tree right there. And then if I want to have a row of trees, I can hold down my Alt key, drag it like that. When I was practicing, I was doing grass, and oh man, it was ugly. It really didn't look very good. I would probably want to use the sprayer to do grass a little bit better, but even then, I wasn't really happy with it. Now, obviously, I can do all sorts of different shapes. I don't have to stay with rectangular. I just chose that because that's, well, to be honest with you, it's one of the easiest ones. Oops, too small. Okay, now I want to do some text here, and I'm going to put the house Mickey built. And I don't know about you, but that is way too small. And then just like before, I'm going to be putting it on this side, so I'm going to use my tool right there, and I'm going to put it right there. Going to make it a little bit smaller and then drag it here. And then come to this side I'm going to try this. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, I was afraid of that. What if I didn't look? Yeah, once you get it on one side, if you want to duplicate it, I've had the best luck with just retyping it. So I go, oh my God, I gotta make that bigger. And I'm just going to arrow over here, and I'm going to hold down my shift key so I can select the. And I'm just going to bump it up. Or I could just manually do it. Doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to click outside of it. I'm going to click on the side of the panel that I want. Oop. Click on the side. You got to use this tool right here. And then I'm just going to drag it like that, and then make it, oops, grab the wrong one. Oh, man. And then I can reverse the text if I wanted to, or I can just leave it the way it is. Now if I want to get this perspective grid, I can just click right there. Got to get on that little ball. Right there where it says hide grid, click on it and it goes away. And if you want it back, you got to go view, perspective grid, show grid. So that's how it works. I mean, and it's extremely powerful what you can do. Come on, get up there. With this perspective, I just love the fact that you can do it. So I'm going to want you to create some kind of object using the perspective grid. Just have some fun with it, and I look forward to seeing what you've done. Obviously, I want it to be a little bit more complex than what I've done here, because I just did this short and sweet to show you what the capabilities of the program were. So once again, I look forward to seeing your homework.